Watch the top of your screen, the top two cars. Just out of frame. There we are.
Oh, Skinner gets into the back of Ryan Newman, who shoots him into Carl Edwards, and then here comes Travis Quapple. It's just a chain reaction. It's no different than if you're on the highway and somebody in front of you started to go. It's kind of like sitting at a stoplight. Start to go and then stop before you have a chance to stop.
It almost looks like it started up there at about Kurt Busch, the 97, or Jimmy Johnson in the 48. They just started getting into each other.
Even Dale Jr.'s lagging back. There's a huge gap between Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon.
And Mark Martin squeaks through once again, as does Rusty. Straight away, Joey Logano pounds the safer barrier at the inside of the entrance to pit road. And it's a hard hit for the 18-year-old from Middletown, Connecticut. He had been
worse than hitting a wall.
You would know. You hit that thing a ton. Wasn't it 4th of July race?
Yeah, no, it was in the 500 and 83.
And you know, no one did anything wrong there. Scott Speed got loose. Joey Logano tried to stay off of him. Greg Biffle in the 16 was right there.
I don't know if Kurt got into the back of Tony or not. Let's wait till we get around here and see. Tony's car Tony hit the apron. He got down on the apron. He got a little bit loose. Kurt was all over the back of him, and there he goes.
Tony's dropped the window net on his car. That's a signal to safety workers that he is okay.
I think they just get a little bit wadded up back in there. Boy, it was a hard lick.
That was a hard lick
for
on
the
that
39 car.
Somebody turned.
Elliott Sadler got loose.
Yeah, he got loose, and here they all come and just piled in.
The 19 of Elliott Sadler.
Look at that 39 car. Those splitters, they're like snow plows. Wow.
Bill Elliott just missed Quapple.
What a miss.
Top of your screen.
Yeah, you see Sadler, he just gets loose as Newman's going by, and he clips Newman in the right rear and just turns him straight into the fence.
Big move to the outside to block Blaney by Stenhouse. I thought for sure Stenhouse was going around.
Yeah, he looked like he was long gone, and that's really what caused this whole thing. When he came up in front of Eric Jones in the 20, Jones had nowhere to go.
And Bowman had filled that space in the inside to make it 3 wide with Eric Jones, so he had nowhere to go.
Nope. Is going to crash big.
Crash out of turn number 4. A multi-car pileup. And let's have a look for Eric Almirola on the right side in the 43.
It looked like the 33 car of Brian Scott, something. What's Danica right there? Man, that was a lick.
Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Casey Kane.
You all right?
Chase Elliott gets turned around and around, and it's mayhem. Turn 3.
Aggressive to the rear bumper of the 10. He's going to push him all the way up to the 2, and they just, right before the 10 gets there, there's a little bit of movement, and that little bit of movement, when you make that much contact, turns your car right around. That's exactly what happened to Brad Keselowski and the 10 of Almirola.
And that happens right in front of most of the field.
And that really all started with a big push from Joey Logano. Remember Joey Logano talking on the radio earlier about, you got to tell me when I'm pushing that car and it's going to make contact with the car in front of us. Well, that happened right there with his teammate.
Here's our forward onboard camera with Logano.
You could hear he started to lift, but unfortunately Almirola's car started sort of swaying back and forth right before he made contact with the 2. Hooks his bumper, turns him around.
Oh, he slammed Alex Bowman. And it's on. And for the second time in less than a handful of years, there are 13 laps to go. Oh, trouble.
Big trouble, big trouble.
Mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola. Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane.
I believe he blew a left rear tire. That thing started wiggling around, and as he came into the tri-oval, it spun out, and when it came to a stop, you can see the left rear tire is completely torn apart. So I think he had a cut tire, and the thing just got away from him.
Yeah, he was wobbling through the tri-oval there, and finally went around with him.
Another driver involved, Brad Keselowski, right there.
Wonder if Brad twittered that.
Right
Probably
there is McMurray.
Yeah, Keselowski and the 2 just drove underneath Casey Kane in the 5. Just nowhere to go.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back. Keselowski missed that wreck by inches.
That was DiBenedetto first into the outside wall.
Well, he got a double
Followed by
whammy.
Buscher.
Anytime you see the rear tires lift up off of a car as it makes impact, you know that's a huge hit.
What I don't like about that is that Buscher hit the wall head on, and then he got hit by DiBenedetto here in the driver's or in the right side. He's trying to get a double whammy here.
Can't quite grasp what turned both of those cars. They weren't really right together when they came into frame and headed
Carl Edwards, 3 Fords.
Harlan already.
The wall. Slams to the outside. It's 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson. He collects Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
Trevor Bayne, the 21 car, winner from last year. You see him involved?
Look at that outside lane and the blue car that's second in line.
You see, Jimmy just gets a little bit loose, and when he corrects, it just overcorrects, and into the fence it goes. And then he gets a really hard lick right here. That's the one that really worried me. He got that right in the driver's door.
Daryl, what was one of our Goodyear keys? Don't push me in the left rear. This tri-oval can be pretty treacherous.
Boy, it just reminds me of the Clash. Same type of carnage that we saw where these cars were going everywhere. A lot of damage as they all got to turn 3.
Well, that ruined everything. And look at the outside lane. DiBenedetto and Paul Menard.
Yeah, Paul Menard
21.
giving a pretty nice push down the back straightaway to DiBenedetto. Gets to his right rear. Oh, yeah, that just starts to turn him a little bit.
Got him in the right rear.
And then he collects Menard.
Yeah.
Logano just misses it, but the whole outside lane and half the inside pile up.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about. At this stage in the race, you can start to taste victory in the Daytona 500. You want to see that checkered flag, and you'll do anything to get it, and you know you've got to be more aggressive with those bump drafts.
That looks exactly like the Clash. I mean, all those cars, third turn, all those cars wadded up, sliding up the track with sparks flying. It just so much like the Clash.
That is the 17th of February, looking way too much like the 4th of July.
Amen.
Fireworks everywhere.
Yeah, and it really and truly, it was Paul Menard. He gave DiBenedetto a little shove, but it was on the outside, on the right side, and that just turned DiBenedetto into the outside wall, and then it was on from there.
And a different situation than we saw in the clash between Menard and with Jimmy Johnson, but it was a similar thing when we heard the spotter on the 21, Menard say, well, he zigged and we zagged.
And in this case, Menard told his team on the radio, I just bumped him a little too hard.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? It's the end of the race. You're trying to help that guy. You're trying to help DiBenedetto. You're not trying to wreck him, but just bad judgment. Look at that 10 car.
Almirola's number 10.
Look at David Reagan
Reagan.
underneath the 10 of Almirola.
David Reagan, see what springs he's running. Look at that.
All those sparks flying. Man, amazing shots.
And all Almirola wanted was a chance to win it on the last lap.
Yeah, I didn't
like last year.
Didn't quite get there. Close.
He almost squeezed Harvick into the wall, and here comes Harvick, the 29, with Matt Kenseth.
Oh, Mark got loose. Mark got loose.
And Harvick's getting a run off turn 4. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line.
Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag. Harvick. Kevin Harvick wins the Daytona 500.
We got one car
And they're
on
still-
his roof coming across the start-finish line.
Still wrecking. They're wrecking everywhere. Boyer's on fire. Jeff Gordon's wrecked.
And they are
Montoya.
still wrecking.
Montoya, Stremme, Kenseth, Biffle, Marlin, Carl Edwards, Casey Mears all crashed on the final lap. And where's the other RCR car? Watch the 07. It'll come in here from the right. In the bottom lane. Clint Bowyer. Gets slid sideways. Whammo.
And he'll cross the start-finish line unofficially upside down in the 18th position.
On fire. I mean, that's Joey Chitwood couldn't do that. NASCAR did such a great. Goodness. It's terrifying.
Earl Marlin, the 14 car, was spinning down pit road, actually hit the pit wall.
Until now, 1976 and 79 were the wildest Daytona 500 finishes ever.
In Daytona, a massive accident down in turn 1 has claimed at least 15 cars. It started up toward the front of the field. You see the carnage scattered in the corner. Matt Kenseth, Johnny Benson, Ricky Rudd was in it. Oh, look at that. Kenny Wallace, John Andretti, Casey Atwood.
All right, Jeff Gordon and the Kevin Harvick made contact going down in turn 1.
And there we were talking about throwing the block, and that looks like what happened.
And the first 4 or 5 cars get through, and then about the 7th or 8th, I don't know, about the wherever the 43 car of Andretti, that was the next car to hit. And after that, there's no place for anyone to go.
That's right, the track just becomes completely blocked. Let's take another look. See well, that's kind of a little bit afterwards, but see Harvick slide back up.
How did Ward Burton get through that? Wow.
And all those cars on the inside, and then the hole closed up.
Add Jeremy Mayfield to the list of those involved, the 19 car.
Now look, let's take another look here. Jeff goes down. Kevin Harvick goes to put on the block, drives down on top of Jeff. Jeff just didn't give.
Or if he tried to get out, he didn't get out in time.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Andretti, a hard lick.
Wow.
You know, same thing happened in the qualifying race between Tony Stewart.
Is that Schrader caught up in it too? Schrader got a piece of it.
Folks, just watch this and listen as you're part of the big one.
He's right in Rudd's path.
You see Ricky's in front lane. See smoke, he slows down. You can't see
Hold
anything.
your line. Coming up across the front. Coming back down.
Oh,
Middle racetrack.
Just gets
Right
hot
track,
behind the right rear. Almost had it cleared.
Harvick slides up in front of traffic.
Cars upside down, cars everywhere.
And turn 4 is Calamity Corner once again. The field is frozen. So initial contact, the 10 and the 16, right there.
looked like Biffle in the 16 actually came down into Scott Riggs in the 10. And Darrell, when you're flipping like that, it probably seems like eternity, don't it?
Oh, listen, I can't tell you what it does to you. You just pray that when you stop that you can remember what happened.
I think Scott Wimmer will remember this one for a long time. Trouble off
Trouble,
turn
big
4.
trouble.
Newman slams the wall.
Man.
Comes Schrader, and Newman is in the air and over. Ryan Newman, last year's Rookie of the Year. The rear end ripped from the car.
Look at that thing lift up, Larry.
Just takes off like an airplane.
That's 3,400 pounds, folks, just lifting up in the air like a feather.
And the right rear wheel digs into the dirt and tears the whole rear end loose from the car.
Yeah, if the tire hadn't come off of the wheel, it probably wouldn't have turned over like that. But once the tire came off and it dug in and flipped it. Let's watch her here and see what happens. Oh, Kenny Schrader got out of control, got into him. Oh, that's what happened, Mike. His right rear tire came off. Car goes airborne, then when it hits the ground, it digs in and just rips it apart. Looking at Dale Jarrett's car.
Here, he's
trouble.
Contact on the outside. It's Michael Waltrip and now Brian Vickers. Robbie Gordon, 31. The time. Waltrip's over. 1, 2, 3 times for Michael Waltrip.
Well, there's the
Now,
big
this
one
is a
right
big
there. There's a lot of good cars right there. Is that Sterling Marlin in there?
40 cars in it. That's Michael Waltrip's car, upside down.
And when you're in a situation like that, you are just a passenger, especially when these cars start turning each other. Here you see, looks like Johnny Sauter slid up in the 30 car into Brian Vickers in the 25. A chain reaction.
Yes, that's Michael talking. Yeah.
And Biffle, the pole sitter, looks like he barely got through there.
So you see the tire come off of Michael's car, then it got into that grass softened by the rain, and it just dug in, just like we saw Ryan Newman's last year and sent the car over.
There's Harvick, Kevin LePage, Johnny Benson.
Terry Labonte. You saw McMurray and Vickers.
Okay, here we go. This might be our best shot.
Watch the car on the bottom there. Blue and yellow car. Slides up right there. Just ever so little contact, which doesn't look like a lot when you're running 185, 190 miles per hour. It's a lot.
Here's the 15. The mountain right now, he's going to dig in. There goes one of the tires that Alan talked about. Violent.
Very violent.
All that happened on lap 2. And now, under caution, Juan Pablo Montoya has crashed and gone aflame.
Holy cow, what happened?
We just got a report that he was complaining about a bad vibration in every gear.
No, Larry, he just slammed
hit the
into
jet dryer.
I think he slammed into the jet dryer.
They're trying to clear debris off the racetrack, and the car brakes, won't steer, and he slides up the track and into the back of that surplus helicopter jet engine on a trailer used to dry the racetrack.
Larry, Mike, I saw sparks coming out from the car as if it had a tire down or something. What an incredible turn of events I've never in my life. Oh my gosh.
And all that spilled jet fuel found something hot to ignite it. Here's a different angle. See the safety trucks up top?
Wow. I mean, it just exploded. When it hit it, it just exploded.
And he was traveling at a high rate of speed, trying to catch back up at the field.
Back of the field.
Ryan Newman off turn 4 for the final time. Blaney to the outside, to the inside. Here comes Hamlin up the outside.
Wow.
Crash into the wall, into the air. Goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof, Ryan Newman comes across the line 4th. And comes to rest, finishing 2nd. Blaney tried the top side, tried to get low. Ryan Newman goes around, and the car goes to its roof, and here's the onrushing Corey LaJoie picking it up and over. Welcome back to Daytona.
It's the big one, gang. It's the big one. It's what we've all been fearing. This kind of racing is going to happen.
A horrible crash on the back straightaway that began when Tony Stewart got turned sideways against the backstretch wall number 20. Jason Leffler, all torn up. The defending Cup champion, Labonte. Stewart, there's fire underneath the hood of Bobby Labonte's car. Stewart was the first car sideways. Here's see why.
Here's the 4 got into the back of Ward Burton, I believe.
And then Burton's 22 got into Stewart. And everybody scrambles.
That car is taking a whale of a ride, that 20 car is. It's getting hit, it's upside down, it's hit on its roof, it's on fire.
And here's another angle.
Coming off of turn 2 where we've said that it's the wind. Somebody got into the back of that car right there.
That's Ward Burton right there.
Saw a puff of tire smoke, and then everything left.
I think that's what started. Somebody got back of Ward Burton off turn 2.
I'm pretty sure the 4 car got into the back of Ward Burton, turned him into the 20 car, and God help all of them because there's no place to go. And you can't see. Here we come off of turn 2 again. Right there. See, Ward Burton got pushed around by that car, and that's the 4 car.
And he got in the back of Tony Stewart. Of course, Tony Stewart won airborne here.
And it was Ward Burton's car being sideways that blocked up the track for everybody behind him.
Boy, and it gets hit by every car in the field, seems like. And Tony Stewart's car just took a whale of a ride. That must be at least 30 cars in that wreck.
From Tony Stewart's onboard camera.
That is something a driver never wants to hear.
4 times, I made it through. I blasted out of the tire. I made it through. And 4, bud. We'll put 4 on it.
Here's one more angle from Mark Martin, whose car is now all torn up.
It's the outside wall real hard.
Gets hit again and takes out.
And Tony Stewart goes for one of the wildest rides in recent memory of Daytona.
Kind of looks like the Richard Petty crash here, back when Richard crashed off turn 4 down here, standing on
Look,
his
he's got
nose.
Bobby Labonte's hood. It was hooked to the back of his car as he was in midair.
Both Gibbs's cars roll into a halt there.